black church, and I guess he's talking about the black church in America, is 80% women. Men just aren't showing up in the church.
If you are a man that is afraid to approach me or just to alleviate some of your assumptions, then you're not masculine enough for me.
Oh, if you get divorced, then this woman take half of your stuff. Men who say that, y'all, hilariously, they don't have any assets.
Leaving women. When a woman disrupt your life, man, y'all gotta normalize leaving them.
That's why I would get mad at my friends talking about, oh, he's 5'7", he's 5'6", I don't want to date him. You gonna be 5 single.
No intentions on marrying.
The money and the resources and a lot of stuff that you got supernatural favor from God because you were married to her. I took a mental poll, right, to see why aren't most black men getting married, and all they keep talking about is divorce. I told y'all that. They be talking about, oh, if you get divorced, then this woman take half of your stuff, and da-da-da-da. And most of the men who say that, y'all, like, hilariously, they don't have any assets.
We know Flat Earth.
They don't have anything to protect in the first place. So that'd be their excuse. I don't want to get married, so I don't get a divorce. Why won't you work inside of your marriage to make sure that you don't get a divorce? Why don't you refrain from cheating? And why don't you practice self-control? And why don't you communicate? Why don't you go to therapy and stuff like that, so that that's not even in the cards for you? You know what I'm saying? You could tell the ones who planning on doing something. And now what I'm about to tell y'all is going to ruffle a couple of feathers, but this is the spiritual stuff. This is a spiritual download right here, right? When a woman leaves a man or is forced to leave a man, because most women leave because they have to. Most women leave because a man wants her to go, but so that he could go and live his life and do whatever he thinks is better. But they are so, I was going to say the P word, I can't see that and say that. So childish to the point where they would do any and everything to make her leave him. And he'll wait it out for her as long as it takes. So he will abuse her mentally, emotionally, sometimes physically, to make her leave him. It's a form of narcissist traits or whatever, which black men is running rampant in the whole community, right? So that he won't be left to say, oh yeah, so he could say, oh, I didn't leave. Well, I wasn't the one who left. You forced this person to leave by your behavior. So listen to this about the whole having to give a woman, money and all of this other stuff. Because y'all seeing divorces where it happens to women too, with the men that they're with. But y'all don't be complaining about that. Y'all be like, oh yeah, the men are up. What? Anyways, when you marry a woman, we're going back to this. You get favor from the Lord. So the money and the resources and a lot of stuff that you got supernatural favor from God because you were married to her.
You can't make this up.
You owe that to her because most of that stuff you wouldn't have received if you were not married, sir. Give her stuff. Now, let's back up just a little bit, okay? The other piece of it is a woman, God left us to be taken care of by y'all. You are supposed to protect and provide and lead and be the royal priesthood. That's just it. That's just it. And if you gain more resources and favor from the Lord because you were married to her, the least you can do is, because 9 times out of 10, you're leaving her with your bloodline. Take care of your bloodline. Take care of the children that you created. Take care of her because she is your responsibility. She's your responsibility. If you don't want that responsibility, y'all always run away from responsibility. Don't be laying down all willy-nilly, making all these children and trying to, all you doing is
she brought up marriage, right? She brought up marriage, and also she brought up that we need to take care of them. Now, what are you going to be doing? I asked that, and it seems so simple because they expect to just, hey, I got married to you, I'm going to lay on my back. And men are not signing up for that. Like a man, if he makes you a stay-at-home wife and takes care of his children, the way you're laying down right now, if you had a situation like that, you'll be doing exactly what you're doing now. Cleaning up the house just enough before I come home so I can have a smile, but doing TikToks all day and wasting your time when you can be working on a business so I don't have to work for us, right? But all I hear is what a man can do for you. I didn't hear once about what you can do for a man.
Absolutely nothing.
I hear about you got favor from the Lord, right? But in order to get that favor, you have to do something to get it. And if a man is working, you understand? A man needs someone to plan with. But I'm going to let her continue.
Running to get your flesh, you want to appease your flesh. It's the most demonic thing. Like, we supposed to die to our flesh daily and all of this other stuff. Y'all got to understand that you're being battled against so hard, and that's because you're the top of the food chain. It should be God, then you, then your woman, then the children. Like, there is an order to this thing. There's hierarchy, and y'all keep on trying to surpass it, and y'all want to be little princesses, and that's not. If we were supposed to handle this thing all together, and it wasn't, y'all wasn't in the placement y'all were in, Adam and Eve would have been born together. They would have been created together. God could do it. God could do anything. We would have been created together. That's why you have to speak to our fathers before you.
Wait a minute. They would have been created together based on what? You can't change God's words. It's written that Adam was created first and you came from the man's rib. How are you going to be created together? I'm confused. And you say we're messing up the order. You had the order right when you said man, woman, children, and a man is the umbrella. But this is where you got it confused. You said we're messing up the order. The reason why men have gone away from you, ladies, is because you've messed up the order. Right? That's why men are talking like this.
Broke ass nigga, but they me while I was broke. So, you know, it breaks my spirit because it let a nigga know that you had some kind of hidden agenda. You might have thought I was finna come up or some shit. That's the only reason why you was me, right? So to drop off on my point, black men like to, well, I ain't gonna even say we usually do this. We don't do this in a big number, but I'm saying a lot of black men that have killed themselves have done it because of financial shame. I'm not even gonna say over finances themselves. Because we be cool being broke as long as a woman with us and we gonna keep driving it. You know what I'm saying? But women don't be trying to stick it in with a dude. No homo. Hold on. Let me say that different. Women don't be trying to stick it out with a man. You know, y'all want the established man that's already done struggling. And then y'all want to wonder why y'all want to wonder why the established man is a cheater.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't made it without you. What does he need you for?
And that's what's happening. When you meet men at the finish line, men are going to do what men at the finish line do. If they're single and they got the bag, you got to get it. And that's what the lady was talking about. They always say this. They want to mold the men who are already at the finish line, and they want the rest of the men to mold them. Not going to happen. It's childish now when you hear it. And these videos come every day. Every day. Sad. But it continues.
5 years. We got a kid. We had a kid within a year of us being together. Okay, cool. It's been 5 years now. And you still have no intentions on marrying me.
I mean, like, nah. I do. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's too soon.
It's too soon.
It's too
We've been together for 5 years already. And we got a kid already.
Wait.
So it wasn't too soon to have a baby?
That's natural. God put us on earth to do that. Not to get married. That ain't in the Bible.
See? It's your fault. You didn't even establish. The man said not to get married. That ain't in the Bible. Crazy work. Crazy work. The reason, see, marriage, I really feel it was created for the female. That's why he asked us to keep the female happy. He don't say nothing about them keeping us happy, right? Think about that. Nowhere does it say keep the man happy. It tells us to keep them happy because they're the ones that are disadvantaged, right? They have the kid and then they can't have kids after that. I can have 15 kids while she's pregnant. 1,000 kids.
Cutting women off, leaving women. When a woman disrupt your life, man, y'all got to normalize leaving them. Y'all scared to walk away. The power of walking away from somebody who do not benefit your journey or your program, fellas, that's a superpower. Y'all the men. Y'all got to set the tone in this relationship. Hey, listen, baby. If you're not complying or rolling with my program, you got to go. Fellas, it's that simple. And I don't want to hear this shit, oh, man, it's harder than it sounds. Nah, listen, man. It's not. You set the tone.
Yeah, and that's happening more than you think. More guys are doing that. It may be silent, but it has to be silent. Because, like, if a man is sitting there saying, oh, I'm not going to be, I'll say it like this. What ladies have to understand is men are finding their way. Seriously. Like right now, by the job market is in shambles, men are finding out where the money is. And it's amazing. And that's why I teach what I teach. I teach men how to find where the money is. Seriously. I got to plug it in, guys. And I show men how they can hire someone for dollars and turn around and make thousands. And I show men how they can work on their own. Right? And I do that for only around $100. When you ladies are paying so much money to go to college, and then that's what happens. That's what the guy's talking about. Bashing. Every time. The other video did today. Kind of similar. They always throw it in there, oh, we doing this. And it's childish, and I'll tell you why. Because these are what? Younger females, seems like. Sometimes older. It's coming in all ages, all shapes and sizes, all forms. And men don't like it.
Say that going to Yale basically ruined my love life.
I feel qualified to talk about this as someone who just graduated from a top school as a black woman. It becomes really tricky if you are dead set on dating a black man if you go to an elite school. When you look at the economics of it, right? Already, black people at a top elite school like a Yale, like a Duke, like a U Chicago, whatever, that's like maybe 5 to 10%. Within that 10%, it's majority women. I've never seen a top school in which the black population was not majority women. So let's say you got 40% are men. Take out the varsity athletes. Take out the ones that are gay. Take out the ones that are already in relationships. Okay, now you see what I'm saying? Like now it's dwindled. That's why I would get mad at my friends talking about, oh, he's 5'7", he's 5'6", I don't want to date him. You're going to be 5 single. Now, you can try and date at the schools around you, but, people talk, and there's a lot of cross-pollination. I'm going to be real with you. And as you can imagine, this just compounds as you exit your college days. So a lot of women want to date a man that is at least the same level of education as she is, that makes at least the amount that she is, and preferably more. And that is hard to come by when, as black women, we are the only race of women that out-educate and out-earn our male counterparts. To all of my amazing, intelligent black women that are going to top schools, if you think you're going to get your Michelle and Barack moment, because even Michelle and Barack did not meet until she was his boss in an internship. So, just be patient. Live life, travel, hang out with your homegirls, make memories, and get that final offer.
You see this? And she doesn't realize it, right? What she just said leads them to a life of singleness. Things are not going to change until you ladies change, right? The other girl talking about God, she was somewhat on the right path. The thing she left out is being, and it says in the Bible, be submissive to a man. That word is like kryptonite. And when you're doing this, and I'm not trying to say you shouldn't have it, right? I believe females should do what they need to do. But what has to happen, because this is with most females, you have to get out of your head, I need a man making more than me. What do I mean? Because there's guys out there, there may be somebody out there that likes you that may make 10,000 less, right? Maybe make close to the same amount, maybe 5,000 less. He won't get a shot because of it. She was right when she said 5, 7 something. You know, ladies do have to break that, or you're going to be single. Because a lot of ladies do that. They go to these top universities, find a guy that make more. This happens. That's why she said it. Find a guy that'll make more. He's too short. The man makes 50,000 more than you a year. He's making 150. There's females that do that. Sad but true.
Of a guy, he was attractive too, and he said, let me tell you something, I don't approach attractive, well put together women in public. And he lists the reasons why he doesn't. He says if she's attractive, she's put together, got her nails done, her hair done, she may be expensive, she probably already got a guy, and he goes on to this whole list of assumptions. Basically, they're assumptions, because the reality is you don't know if that woman does her own hair, does her own nails, pays for her own hair, pays for her own nails. You don't know if she's single. Do you know there are a lot of attractive women out here that are single? Me? You don't know. But so you're assuming that a person is single or not single based on their attractiveness. So you say all ugly people are single? Do we all not know some people that are not so attractive that are in relationships? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. I feel like y'all be tricking yourself out your own spot. And to me, if you are a man that is afraid to approach me or just to alleviate some of your assumptions, then you're not masculine enough for me. Because the most that she can say is that she's in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Or just get to know somebody without assuming first. But y'all assume, y'all trick yourself out of your spot. Then you get with a woman that you really don't like, but you were just bored. She looked available, but guess what? She the most, she need the most money. She need this for this, you know what I'm saying? Like you assume the girl that look put together need all your money, but all reality is the girl that's looking broken, bust down is the one who need all your damn money. The girl that put together, put herself together. Let's do better, man. I need to find men to come up to me. Don't be scared. I don't bite.
You know, because they need the money, this is what they do. It's true, though, what they're saying. Men are not approaching. We already know why. But because they need money, this is what they talk about. And men are watching, right? And you said if a man doesn't approach you, you're not going to talk to him. Like, so what's going on now? You don't have anybody now? I would have loved to hear it. I'm struggling out here. I'm not getting with nobody every day. Like, announce yourself. Seriously, ladies got to start making videos announcing themselves. Because you talking like that, and then almost all, I repeat, almost all have somebody they're dealing with. And I see too many things happening in the West still that shows me it's an issue. It does. Because if somebody else can make you smile, and there's always somebody that makes you smile. There's always somebody else. I rest my case.
Nigga who got like a white body count. Like if he just got one, that's strict.
Y'all can date who y'all want to date, who cares? But I definitely felt like that was a main priority of mine to know before I got married was, what does your dating history look like? If you dated white women or non-black women, I definitely just scratched you off. The cognitive dissonance it takes to date outside of your race, knowing that they completely hated your people, knowing the history.
Wow.
Married to a black man, before I say this, black men are not your only option. An attractive black man is not worth your worth. The thing is I'm worried about is that sometimes black women fall into...
Didn't she just say, I won't date a black man that was with a white woman or somebody else? And then she just talked about her divested fantasy, as this brother said. I just read it just now. Man.
her to choose that big black man. I don't know why. As a black woman, this was a monumental moment for me in reality TV. Them giving Anaya the princess treatment and princess date she deserved.
There was this thing called bed wenching during slavery times, right? Where many black women were forced, but some black women gave it up in hopes that they could really be with the master, right? But he would always send them back out into the field with the rest of the niggas. And these were married women sometimes, so they would go back to their husband, nigga, you ain't shit, you gonna be a slave, you ain't never gonna be free. Fast forward to today, that ancestral memory plays into a lot of black women. Even black women that are married. A lot of these black women still fantasize about the slave owners taking.
Yeah. Sad.
By the name of Jamal Bryant that made a comment that the church, the black church, and I guess he's talking about the black church in America, is 80% women. And he was talking about how men just aren't showing up in the church. Now, he said it's because the way the church is not really reaching the black men's needs, He even made a comment that in Islam, the church is attended by 80% black men. And I'm just like, I feel like he's intentionally leaving out a really, really important factor here. Black men ain't fucking with the church. Black men ain't fucking with the church. I used to go to church when I used to go to church, and I used to see how the pastors would always play on our emotions as women. And I say our emotions as women because before I became emotionally logical, I was operating totally in emotion. And so you had all these women would be in church, running their hand, crying and weeping, and their men would be sitting there looking at them like, is she serious? Like, it's not that serious. Like, oh my God, she's like literally crying and Men aren't, you're not manipulating them emotionally, and that's what they're doing in the church. So men today are not going to church because they see the manipulation. And I have 3 older brothers. One took his whole family out of church, and it wasn't even a black church. I have my other 2 brothers, they're just not going. You're not doing it. It's a manipulation.
You know, what they don't realize, because I go to church, right? But before I stopped going to church, when I went to church, before I found the truth, right? You know what I wanted? I wanted the word. Yes, I stopped going to the church because I saw the theatrics, right? This is what I saw. I saw the fake Holy Ghost going around. I saw the fake speaking in tongues. Shamana. Shamana. I saw that going on, right? I saw the fake put the hand on somebody's head and they passed out, and all of that was happening. I didn't want to be around that, right? So I went to another church. Then they were playing music. They weren't doing the fake, but a bunch of music was playing. I didn't want to be around that. It was like a big celebration. I didn't like that. You know what church I liked? I started getting the word. And when I started studying the word, I started seeing the truth for what it is. But I got that in the word, not in the theatrics, not in being around pastors lying, right? In the word, reading the Bible. And I think if any man wants to get to know God, pray for the Holy Spirit and pick up that Bible and study, because everything you need to know is there. It's the basic instructions before leaving earth. What you guys have to understand, right, is the devil used the female. He brought sin into the world through the female when it first came in. And what he also did was got in her now. That's why the church is 80% females, to get the black men out of the church. But that attitude that we talk about in videos, it's in the church. That's why men don't want to go. It's sad. But, and I believe a lot of men do still pray and look at the word, but it's deep.
Situation for a very long time. Like, I know that women don't like helping men getting on their feet. And I know sometimes it's like a risk, but guys be like so willing to help girls get on their feet, women get on their feet, young women get on their feet, whatever. But it seems like when it comes down to a man not having his life together, even though a man should have his life together, and especially at a certain age, it seems like women don't have no type of faith, no type of nothing in men. And sometimes some women has had a bad, run with helping someone else get on their feet before. And that's very much understandable. But those women that want men to just automatically come into their life and just help them pay bills, help them buy this, do that, do this, do that. But then if a man came into her life and was like, oh, right now I don't have a car, or whatever, it's, oh, I can't deal with no nigga that don't got no car. I can't deal with no man that don't got no car. Or he's broke. And even if the man has a job but just don't have a car, I feel like that's still something, because he's not being lazy. And everybody's not out here making 6 figures, 8 figures, 10 figures, 12 figures, or whatever, how many figures that you females be wanting when a man come into your life and you want them to take care of you. Like, women do not like to help a guy, build a guy, or anything like that. Back in the days, women was dealing with men that didn't have anything and they came up together. Now in this generation, I know like there's like a high percentage that men will just get on their feet and leave you.
It's wild, man, because what she said, I saw my mother do that with my stepfather. That man, when she got with him, had nothing. She actually helped that man and motivated him and drove him. You know what happened? He ended up becoming a correctional officer. I believe she told him to. She said, hey, why don't you do this? You could probably do this. He did it. Worked there for 20 years, retired with a pension, everything. All because she had faith in him. But they were from what? Baby boom era. My mother was the beginning of Gen X, around 1965. And he was 1962. It's sad what's happening nowadays.
But
If a guy show you, even when he has nothing to his name, he barely has it, and he still try to give you his last and still try to make you happy with the very little that he has, I feel like you are able to invest into that man, because once he...
You know, I love what she's saying. She gives me the vibes, the calmness, the coolness. She gives me the vibes, similarities of old school females. And that's why guys do what we do, right? And I know sometimes ladies take offense and they get mad. They may get mad when they see me talking, even. But you have to understand what this lady just said. That's it right there. That's exactly why men walk away. And I know it takes a toll on a lot of you ladies. Oh, wow, man, I'm approaching this. Why don't they do this? Why don't they do that? You notice every video they were talking about men having what? Yeah, I know a man may not. You want man to make more money and you want this and this. Every video. This was the first lady that came with the energy like someone from back in the day. A calm, peaceful energy. Not acting, some females already, they promote men, but a lot of females don't have a calm energy. That's why men stay away. It's sad nowadays, man. But yeah, y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Other than that, peace out. See you next video.